Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
well, not great.
Not great.
Yeah, my wife just got laid off.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, so well, in actually like in 3 months or something. But yeah, they told
Jeez.
her today. Oh, by the way, you're not going to make it to December. Like, fucking maybe November, maybe October. I'm like,
Wow.
so might lose my house and maybe even have to go move to Texas to live with her sister. I don't know. But
Oh, wow.
but it doesn't surprise me because capitalism, no matter even if you're somewhat okay, and not like I was doing great or anything, but I mean, just,
You're always precarious, eh?
right. So I mean, that's
Fuck.
why I know it's dog shit. And I just like the same thing, you do a good show and I do a good show, but that doesn't mean that in a capitalist world or whatever that they want to, you know, take part
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. Like
So
I have noticed with some of my videos that they're definitely getting buried by the algorithm. Like they just disappear. Like even if you see like your reach or whatever, like with how many people can even click on it, it's like
right.
150 people. I have almost 2,000 subscribers, right? Like you would
Right.
think
No,
that
I
it's
understand. I have the same issue. I have
unreal.
like 3,000 subscribers and
And like,
yeah,
yeah,
3,000.6 or whatever. But
right.
and yeah, I have the same issue. Get like 100, maybe 200. You know, which is
Yeah.
which is crazy too because then like on the academic, I have sometimes one blog gets like 300, thousand views.
Right.
So it's not like, in a sense, people don't like my stuff, and which, like I said, is weird too to me. I put all this stuff out, right? I'm like I told you before, I'm like a claim generator
Right.
compared to some people. Some people are like a real careful. I'm
Yep.
not as careful because generally, when I say something, I have evidence to back up every claim.
Yeah, you've been digging. Yeah, for
So
sure.
so it allows me to, because I used to not be confident. It's not like I wanted to be confident. I mean, I was confident in my ability. I was confident that I had a loose understanding for years now,
Right.
but it's slowly I gets more and more. Like even recently with the this about this type of deity we're gonna be talking about.
Right.
It's I've always thought that it was before all other deities to
Oh,
me.
okay.
That it is what, in a sense, led to deities.
Ah,
in a sense, and it also never went away. Also, it in a sense, especially, and then we're gonna watch a little video because that'll help understand like a little quick about it. But the women will say it's about Rome and their religion. Everything they say is true about every religion in the world. Just take Rome off.
right.
Everything else. I'm like, are you kidding me? There is not. Put it this way, just so you understand. To me, there's not a religion that doesn't have a few, generally, of these type of beings or believed beings, because of course they're not real. But
Right, right.
so it is a super important thing because, in a sense, I feel it is the essence of what became a deity. So
Okay.
it starts as a spirit, and it can be a spirit or a deity. So that's also why it is literally the transitional deity thing,
Right,
because
right.
it can be either like almost like people say the great spirit or something. Sometimes how they say it, it's certainly a deity, and
Right.
sometimes say it kind of is, you know, and that's the same thing. A Tutelary deity so is like the soft deity that becomes the deity in a sense.
Okay.
And but generally the biggest difference about this kind of deity too is it's generally about protecting or helping or benefiting. That
Mm-hmm.
is like a common thing. And usually it's also a lot of times, like if you looked up deities of justice, you know, almost any deity under that is a Tutelary deity, because justice is, in a sense, um, a protection
Right.
of what's good and right. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as, because in other words, you get it. As soon as injustice happens, you don't even need to know what kind.
Right.
Right. Because it's a category of not good.
Right.
The lack
Yeah.
of protection generally is fostered with injustice.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm just making a comment. So they're the same, but this deity is, in a sense, so many kinds of deities. And so that's what I'm saying. Once you grasp what it is, it's like a template that everything fits into. Because if it's a person, place, thing, if it's connected to, even like weather or something, like say if you say it's only a lightning deity, that's in a sense a tutelary deity of lightning. If you say it's a smith deity, it's a deity for metalsmithing.
Right.
The occupation. Anyway, so it's kind
They're
of
very, like they're very focused almost. Like each god has this kind of thing, right?
right. And so when you hear people say, certain attributes, like say the mother, well, that would be generally the protector deity because it's about
Yeah.
mothering.
Right.
Not just, you get my point of what I'm saying. Even father, in a sense, can be considered, not like a negative, but a protector.
Right.
I'm just making a comment how this deity is supposed to be seen. That's also, to me, understanding. You take that concept and then you're an animist and you look at nature and you just add those two together and you have gods.
Yeah. That's right.
In a sense. So also I wanted to address, I sent you a bunch of stuff, which most of I put in the blog we're going to read, but I didn't put the quotes that I put.
Oh, okay.
And so I wanted to in a sense address that, so because I feel like it relates to this topic. We're talking about justice and stuff, and also like who's helping us, right? Because that's, if in other words, if it's a protector deity, it should be helping, so it shouldn't allow things like capitalism. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
it shouldn't allow someone to lose everything they have just because they get laid off.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
But so I'm just making a comment. So my response was towards Democrats, because of being in America, that is obviously something relates to what I have to endure.
Yeah.
So I wrote this in a sense towards them and their type of thinking. So I said, maybe try going far left for once and quit chasing far right. Democrats, which I see as seemingly centrist elites, generally go to the right rather than the left. Not only will they not chase after far left ideas like socialism, they think progressive ideas are too extreme. Democrats work hard to welcome conservatives, certainly harder than they ever try to get leftists. Democrats support right-wing politics, but with a liberal bent. The Democrats in their last election seemingly shifted further to the right than before. I mean, they literally had, that Cheney person. Like, come on.
Right.
All
Liz
kinds of
Cheney.
Republicans. They were so happy that they were helping them. Yeah, well, it's amazing you can't point to all the leftists that are helping you.
Yep.
Anyway, so I feel like that's one of the reasons they also lost, against Trump. They had Trump and Trump Light. I'm sorry, Trump Light was not good enough for people.
Yep, exactly.
I voted against Trump, but I still say it wasn't a good option. It wasn't like, hey, some, real hope and change. No, it's like more of the same or worse with Trump. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
So anyways, also, I feel like they also don't question if they should stop going to the right.
Yeah.
Despite their polling right now is poor. And then while doing this, many of them still blame far left ideologies, like human rights, like trans rights, and, whatever. They feel like those far left ideologies are the problem. Oh, yeah, because it's not going to the right. That's the problem.
Somehow.
So they imply that the loss was due to politics not being centrist enough, i.e., not being more to the right, which I feel like is literally the problem.
Yep.
And they are said to be leaderless, despite more left-leaning candidates receiving better support. Yep. I feel like it's just gross. And if they think they're somehow a Tutelary, protector, you're not.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. You literally didn't make sure the minimum wage was up. How much more bullshit do you have to do?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's like, and everybody, that probably pissed off that I say things about Democrats. I hate Trump like a passion. I think conservatives are monsters, but that doesn't make Democrats saviors.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, but I just feel like this is relating to all this kind of stuff. So then I want you to read. Go. Actually, let's go to the video first, and then we'll go to the blog. And the video is the one that says, "What is a Tutelary deity?"
Do you have a specific time frame we're gonna watch?
Just play it. I may stop. It's only like 3 minutes. So,
okay, yeah.
Like I said, the biggest reason I want you to understand is just don't assume that when she says it's about Rome, that somehow in any way it's limited to just Rome.
Right.
Everything she says, like I said, literally just applies to everything. So,
what is a tutelary deity? Have you ever wondered how the ancient Romans viewed their gods and spirits? One fascinating aspect of
let's see what. Oh yeah, I can. I have it quite low.
There you go.
Their belief system is the concept of tutelary deities. So, what exactly is a tutelary deity? In ancient Roman society, a tutelary deity is a god or spirit that acts as a guardian, patron, or protector of a specific place, person, lineage, nation, culture, or occupation. These deities were essential in Roman religion, providing both protection and guidance to individuals and communities. Tutelary deities were fundamental to the religious practices of ancient Rome. They were believed to safeguard their designated domains, whether that was a city, a family, or even an individual. This concept reflects the Roman emphasis on safety and guardianship. These gods were seen as vital for maintaining order and security in everyday life. Individuals in ancient Rome had personal tutelary deities known as Genius for men and Juno for women. The Genius served as a personal guardian spirit, accompanying a person from birth to death. This deity influenced their character and actions throughout their life. The personal tutelary deity was a significant part of Roman religious life, guiding and protecting individuals in their daily activities. Cities and towns also had their own tutelary deities, which were crucial for protection during times of war or siege. For instance, the city of Rome was protected by a powerful goddess whose name was kept secret. The Capitoline Triad, consisting of Juno, Jupiter, and Minerva, served as tutelary deities for the city. Additionally, various occupations had their own patron deities, showcasing the widespread presence of these guardians in Roman society. Another interesting category of tutelary deities in Roman religion is the Lares. Originally gods of cultivated fields, the Lares evolved into household deities worshipped alongside the Penates, who were gods of the family's prosperity.
Pause
the
for a
Lares
second.
were often depicted.
But they're also, the household deities are not limited to just what she said.
Oh, yeah.
Household deities are very common in shamanism, which, like I said, probably like the dog, which we're going to also talk about. The household deities could be like the goddess of the hearth, which in a sense, it's believed to protect the house.
Right.
In a sense. So I'm just making a comment that she's not wrong about what she says about this specific type, but household deities are not limited to only that type, is what I'm trying to say. Like I said, sometimes people may not even know some of this stuff. I know that it applies a lot broader than they understand.
Right.
As youthful figures and played a central role in family cults. Public Lares, such as the Lares Compit Hales, presided over crossroads and neighborhoods, further illustrating the role of tutelary deities in public life. Tutelary deities were not just abstract concepts, they had practical applications in daily life. Families would pray to their household Larrys every morning, and special festivals were held in their honor. Public games and ceremonies were also conducted to celebrate these deities, highlighting their importance in maintaining social and religious harmony. In summary, tutelary deities were essential components of ancient Roman religion. They provided protection and guidance to individuals, communities, and places. Their role reflects the cultural emphasis on safety and guardianship, showcasing the significance of these deities in both personal and public religious practices.
Right on. Now let's go to the next one, because she's basically acting as if Rome is the only one that has this stuff. So we're going to go to the 6,000-year-old deity, Nanshi.
Right.
And, or at least 5,000 something. How about that? 500, 600, I don't know. But,
something like that.
Yeah. But anyways, my point is it's almost 6,000. But so it's certainly way before Rome.
Right.
Like, no problem there. But I'm saying, so it just shows that it already was, it's been there for a long time.
Okay.
And I told you too, the fact also that 6,000 years ago, they needed a social justice goddess already tells you that life was not great.
Yeah, there was definitely things that weren't going well if there's a need for this goddess that's the goddess of social justice.
Right, social justice. But I do think that it is, in a sense, kind of cool that there's a social justice goddess.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome, right? If you're saying, so, in other words, if someone now told you, Corey, you have to pick, a deity, and Corey's like, well, can I have the one that's the social justice goddess?
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't know.
If I have to pick one,
cool.
What's the one that's like pro equal rights?
Yeah, right. It takes care of the orphans and the
people who the less fortunate.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So go ahead. This is, and we'll do more, but this is just to give you an idea that once again they're talking about Rome. Well, this is a very old. This is right before, in a sense, Sumerians had writing. So this deity is old.
Right.
In the ancient realm of Sumer, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers intertwined, there lived a revered goddess named Nanshi. She was the embodiment of social justice, prophecy, and fishing, her influence permeating every aspect of Sumerian life. Nanshi's origins were shrouded in mystery. Some believed she emerged from the primordial waters, while others whispered that she was the daughter of the sky god An and the earth goddess Ki. Regardless of her genesis, her presence brought order and harmony to the chaotic world. As the goddess of social justice, Nanshi ensured fairness and equality among the people. She presided over legal disputes, settling them with wisdom and impartiality. Her judgments were swift and decisive, leaving no room for injustice or oppression. The poor and marginalized found solace in her protection, knowing that their voices would be heard. Nanshi's prophetic abilities were equally renowned. She possessed the gift of foresight, enabling her to guide her people through uncertain times. Her oracles were sought by kings and commoners alike, who eagerly awaited her divine guidance. Through dreams and visions, she revealed the future, warning of impending dangers and offering hope in times of despair. But it was as the goddess of fishing that Nanshi held a special place in the hearts of the Sumerians. The rivers and marshes of Mesopotamia provided sustenance and livelihood for the people, and Nanshi ensured their abundance. She watched over the fishermen, protecting them from storms and guiding their nets to teeming shoals. Her blessings brought prosperity to the land, ensuring that no one went hungry. Nanshi's temple in the city of Lagash was a magnificent sight. Its walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting her as a beautiful woman with a fish-tailed headdress. Within the temple, priests and priestesses performed rituals in her honor, offering prayers and sacrifices to invoke her favor. One fateful day, a great drought struck Sumer. The rivers dried up, and the fish disappeared. The people grew desperate, their livelihoods threatened. In their despair, they turned to Nanshi, pleading for her intervention. Nanshi heard their cries and descended from the heavens. She appeared before the people, her voice like the gentle lapping of waves. "Fear not," she said. "I will restore the waters and bring back the fish." With a wave of her hand, Nanshi summoned the rains. Torrents of water poured down from the sky, filling the rivers and marshes. The fish returned in abundance, and the people rejoiced. Nanshi had once again proven her unwavering love and protection. From that day forward, Nansha's legend grew throughout Sumer. She became known as the Lady of Justice, the Oracle of the Gods, and the Protector of the Fishermen. Her name was invoked in prayers and hymns, and her image adorned countless artifacts. As the centuries passed, Nansha's influence extended beyond Sumer. Her cult spread to neighboring lands, where she was revered as the goddess of justice, prophecy, and the sea. Her legacy lived on, inspiring generations to come to strive for fairness, seek wisdom, and appreciate the bounty of nature. And so, the goddess Nanshi, the embodiment of social justice, prophecy, and fishing, continued to watch over her people, ensuring their well-being and guiding them through the trials and tribulations of life.
Right on.
All right.
The only thing that, of course, we would say is, wow, that sounds great. Too bad it's not real.
Right. Yeah, too bad.
We have to live in the real world and then solve real problems and not just live in fantasy hope, you know.
Yeah.
But I gotta still say, if I have to choose a deity and it's that deity or the Bible God, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's no contest, really.
No, right? No contest. You wouldn't even have to work hard to think about it, right?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme difference. So
Yeah.
let's go to the blog.
Okay.
Because I worked hard to just figure this out, because I first I was gonna say I did tell you, or I wrote to you, that I think maybe totemism started it, because I saw it over in the totemism area, but when I went and looked deeper, like at the exact date, so that I had done it before the dogs, but I took for granted what the paleo dog list said on Wikipedia.
Oh.
And because it wasn't that important to me, I just wanted to show that it was real old and stuff, you know.
Right.
But when I went and looked closer, then the numbers weren't the same. And so, but when I plotted them all on the thing, I was like, well, holy shit. Then I understand dogs were invented during shamanism,
Right.
and then spread out from shamanism. That blew my. So once again, I find out stuff because I, plot it and look at it and go, well, holy shit, right? You see the yellow circle. Then the three closest things to the yellow circle, do they have the same number, Corey? Yes, they do.
They do so.
They have the exact same time. So it literally has to be that everybody did it in the middle. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the 34 is about the time origin of dogs. Oh, holy shit. That's about the time origin of shamanism.
Okay.
And then you look at even the one at the Yana rhino horn site, which is 32,000 years. That's not that different from those ones that are down there.
Right.
And it certainly is older than the ones. Look at the dogs in Europe. That one that says the Goyot or G.
Yep.
That right there is considered orchinations, but see, actually, at that time, 31, that was not orchinations. That was graviton, which was a shame.
Oh, okay.
Well, because that once again matters, because before that, anything older than 35 is the totemist orchination culture. But anything after that is probably graviton.
Okay.
Which the gravitons are the shamans to me.
Right.
Well, at least in Europe, because of course, as you see in that chart, they also went to the other side, Siberia also.
Right.
So both sides got shamanism. The difference is that one, as it went into Europe, met the totemists and picked up totemist ideas. And then those ideas by 24,000 are back in Lake Baikal. But Lake Baikal, as you see, 26,000 years ago already had dogs. So they already had the first shamanism.
Right.
They had shamanism 1, and then they get shamanism mixed with totemism. Because that shamanism they got would have been animist shamanism with no totemism.
Okay.
Or you know, something like that. Because I think totemism happens in Europe. Anyways, but this is about shamanism, just showing that the dogs literally, and everywhere it went, these are like shamanism stuff. So it's like, to me, that's why I say it's the middle. And also, before because like I said, they were saying that one goat is a different culture, but when you look at like the thing in the corner I put of the DNA, they don't look that different to me.
Right. You've just got C1, C1b, and C1A2.
And they literally do 38,000 years ago branch off of each other.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah.
Seems pretty close.
Yeah. It's certainly like I'm thinking that this is related.
Right.
And it's reasonable when the DNA is also related.
For sure. Yeah.
So, you know, because I like multiple, levels of figuring out stuff.
Yep.
Because then I feel more confident. Okay, now I feel confident. I feel super confident to say I think shamanism, the earliest shamanism, starts right there, about 34,000. And that same time, they must have been doing dogs.
Right.
It's just the logical conclusion because of everything that comes out of that little area. All has it. No one has it before, and everyone has it after.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I could take a hint, but that's good. Like I said, now when I do my book, I have the exact thing. I was close. Now I really understand it better.
For sure.
As you know, that's what I've been doing this whole time, is both teaching and keep learning, trying to,
Yep.
Because I told you, my goal when I write the book is to literally explain religion, expose it.
Right.
And that means that I had to understand all this.
Yeah.
As you know, there's a lot.
There is, and there is a lot.
Right? More than when I said I was talking about religion, I don't think you thought there was going to be this much stuff.
No, I don't think I did. I didn't realize there'd be multiple years worth of still learning new things.
Right. I know. I learned the dog thing last night.
Right.
Because I said to my wife, I was like, yeah, so I think that maybe it's 25,000, when they buried the shaman with the fox, that's probably the Tutelary deity. And then and I thought, well, but they did bury some dogs or have dogs earlier. Right. So I was trying to, like, before 25. So I was like, well, yeah. But anyway, so that's why I wanted to find out. But and then it's like, I know now that bear cult starts with the totemists in Germany and France. So, I mean, I've learned all this stuff from looking, and now I understand paganism. I pretty much now understand all that I need to.
Right.
to really feel like I can debunk this stuff. And as you know, archaeologists look at my stuff. John, I sent him that picture that you just looked at about the dogs and shamanism. He said, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Not attack me like Graham Hancock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So go ahead and read with the AI overview. I just did this because I was tired and I didn't care.
Yeah, no worries. AI overview. Shamanism in ancient spiritual practice often incorporates dogs as important figures, sometimes as guides, protectors, or even messengers of the spirit world. In shamanic traditions, dogs are frequently seen as psychopomps, guiding souls to the afterlife. They are also believed to possess unique intuitive abilities and can act as conduits for communication with the spirit realm.
Right. And then John Hoops responded, besides saying very cool to me, then he responded this. I added to the thing. Go ahead and read it.
This underneath here?
Yeah. It says the relationship between dogs and shamanism runs deep. Do you see that?
No, I don't.
Maybe you need to update the thing.
I must have to.
You know me at the last minute, right?
Yeah. There it is.
I mean,
there it is.
Just think. Well, because I showed him my stuff and then he had comments. And so I thought, oh, I like his comment. Plus, it supports what I was saying. So it was like, even better. The archaeologist agrees.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so he said the relationship between dogs and shamans runs deep. Shamans relied on dogs' acute hearing and sense of smell to identify and diagnose illnesses. Back during COVID, I suggested dogs could be trained to identify people with active COVID infections. I don't know whether it ever happened.
Right, but that is a cool thing. So go ahead and read the thing, Dog Domestication. This is a book.
Okay,
Development of social bonds. This just gives you understanding more about dogs. Go ahead.
So dogs, domestication, and the development of a social bond. So this book traces the evolution of the dog from its origins about 15,000 years ago up to recent times. The timing of dog domestication receives attention with comparisons between different genetics-based models and archaeological evidence. Allometric patterns between dogs and their ancestors, wolves, shed light on the nature of the morphological changes that dogs underwent. Dog burials highlight a unifying theme of the whole book, the development of a distinctive social bond between dogs and people. The book also explores why dogs and people relate so well to each other. Though cosmopolitan in overall scope, greatest emphasis is on the New World, with entire chapter devoted to dogs of the Arctic regions, mostly in the New World. Discussion of several distinctive modern roles of dogs underscores the social bond between dogs and people.
Right, and then the picture right under that is of a, in a sense, early dog. That's
right,
or proto dog, or whatever you want to call it. The 33,000 years old, and it shows the ancient dog and the modern wolf on the side to give you an idea how their heads are different.
Right.
So,
which they are a little different, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a little different. Yep, and that's how they can, in a sense, tell that there's what do you call it? Changes going on that are turning them domesticated, in a sense.
Right.
Because they literally change.
yeah, for sure.
So, and then the next picture just gives you an idea of the same routes, but now it gives you some of the DNA and stuff.
Okay.
I did this before. I'm not going to go on and on, but just shows people what the DNAs are doing. But there's also, like, see where it says here, P1, Q, and R. Yeah, that's the one that goes to Yana. The one that goes the other way is actually C.
Oh, right. Okay.
And also K2. See, C1, K2. So there's other stuff going over there.
Yeah.
They're all, in a sense, also, as you see, they're kind of all going that same way north. They're splitting off in Iran or whatever, Pakistan, and going north. And then from there, multiple types of DNA are going different places.
Right.
Anyways, so then we'll just go down to the next picture, and that shows it again, cDNA, and it shows the first cDNA, C1 goes into through the Turkey and the Balkans, but then another branch of it, of also C1, shoots up north.
Right.
And then from there, then goes back into Europe from Siberia.
Right.
See where it says Singer, Russia, and it says C1, 34,000?
Yep.
See? Yeah. So it went in multiple ways. And then also the different colors I have here are showing, like, I goes into Europe, and it comes from Turkey, from near the Balkans.
Right.
That's where it comes through, but I mean, it starts with IJ in the Cossack, south of the Cossack Mountain area, sort of.
Okay.
But so this just gives you an idea of some of the stuff moving around, and then that everything in the pink, that's to me the totemist, the Orcanation culture, and there's C1A, C1B, but C1B is the off of the Siberia stuff. Anyways,
right.
And then C1A2 is what that Sinclair is C1A2, which is why it's not the same as C1. Anyways, just even though these numbers seem to kind of the same, they're not all doing the same thing.
Right.
Anyways, go down to the next picture, and this just shows you where I already had before in the top, shows you where I think shamanism is.
Right.
In between, it's Siberia, right on the border of Russia and Kazakhstan. So, because some people, they'll say that shamanism is from Siberia, but a lot of times they mean Lake Baikal, where in this thing, I don't mean that.
Right. You mean over closer to the border with Russia kind of area.
Yeah, correct. Yes. Yeah. And southern, not northern.
Right.
It is shamanism that goes northern, but after it leaves that area of the yellow circle.
Right.
Right. So anything that comes out of that yellow circle has shamanism to it. So anyways, then the next picture shows you how it went to Europe and then back to Lake Baikal, and then what cultures it was. It goes origin, and then the Singer, and then it goes to Domovanci and Czechoslovakia, and then it goes to Kodestinki, whatever, and in Russia, which is near almost the Cossack Mountains, and then from that's there 25,000, and then by 24 it's becomes the Barak culture. But like I said, those people in Lake Baikal already had shamanism,
right? Because that came earlier.
Right, but what it was non-clan, non-totemism shamanism.
Oh,
but now totemism shows up with figurines and different, bear cult, different stuff that the other thing didn't have. So anyways, then go to the next picture. It just shows you all these different things are the oldest dogs.
Okay,
where they're at, so you can see where they're at.
That's cool.
And then we're going to go down to the next picture.
Okay.
And the next picture is showing, once again, dog movements. And it shows Lake Baikal and the white thing, the white stuff coming out of Lake Baikal, white arrows or whatever.
Right.
Those, as you see, they're about 7,000 years old or so. And they're going to the Americas. They're going to Europe. And they're going to, in a sense, the Middle East. Right. Or Iran, and then dogs 7,000 whatever years ago from Iran go into Saudi Arabia, Israel, and then eventually into Egypt.
Okay.
So, but and then also 7,000 years ago, the orange dogs are going from Turkey into the Balkans, and then 7,000 whatever. People are coming, that little blue thing coming into like Israel or whatever from Turkey. That is dogs from Europe, probably from Germany. Dogs from Germany, because they're different lineage.
Okay.
Put it this way, most people in the world have the Siberian version dog. That is the majority of everything. But there is older but not related is the German, dog or whatever.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That blue, and it says 4,000 years ago, it moved again.
Oh, okay.
So it moved 7,000 years ago, and obviously it didn't start in Turkey. So it had to come from Germany, but it just shows that 7,000 years ago, it shoots in through the Balkans, through Turkey, down to Israel. So just showing that those, because remember too, when people move, then ideas move. That means 7,000 years ago, ideas from Germany moved into Israel. See what I'm saying? Right. And same thing with the stuff from Siberia. It goes Siberia, the white goes to Iran, but then the gray Iran dogs, which are related to the stuff that just came from Siberia in a sense, then move all over the place also. So anyways, you see they're like reacting. But then this, you also have the steppe, which is that red stuff going to Lake Baikal about 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
So you see all this stuff is moving around. And then 7,000 years ago in Lake Baikal, those two pictures, one with a dog with a red stone in his mouth.
Yep.
And another is a dog burial. Those are dogs buried with special stuff.
Okay.
And then there's two dogs also, pictures like in the middle, right? There's on the middle left or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's that's a 7,000-year-old dog burial and Lake Baikal, and then there's also the other dog burial in Lake Baikal, and then Saudi Arabia. has pictures of dogs chasing, a burrow or something to hunt it.
Right.
8,000 years ago, and also in Saudi Arabia, dog burials 6,000 years ago, and it was like a stones, like a kurgan or whatever.
Okay, interesting.
Or a pre pyramid in a sense.
So, like, based on what I remember about kurgans and stuff, like, so then this dog was kind of like revered in a way, was it not? Or like kind of like viewed as
absolutely. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is some of these dogs were seen as humans, like as a part of the family,
right,
or whatever. Not like a lot of people say that, but I mean, in their sense, they believe like they're actually
literally
of the family, like
right.
Well, because they see them as being like a human. They have a spirit, soul. Like people say, do animals have souls? Well, those certainly would,
right,
to you. Or you care about that soul at least. But I mean, so them burying in a kurgan is a big deal.
Right.
And often too, they're buried with people. So it's not like, but I think that they're also the ones in Saudi Arabia and the ones in Siberia were burying the dog by themselves.
Okay.
And so that would be revered, this dog, but also it could have been someone died and then they kill the dog as a sacrifice, but honor it by building a little kurgan, because the kurgan is about the Mount of Creation, and it's also like I told you, like about the flood. People get the flood wrong. The flood is not where is somewhere water happened. It's really about reincarnation,
right?
Because if you remember all the myths, it starts as water world, then somehow, whether it's a turtle or whether it's animals building a mound, whether like the Egyptians, it just emerges by itself, or whatever, or it's an egg, that splits in half, all these different things. But they're, like I told you, or the tree, or the sacred mountain, which we now know can also have two peaks. All that though is really the same thing. It's talking about the Milky Way, which is the path of the afterlife.
Right.
Which the dogs and the wolves go on.
Okay.
So it's all related. Just like, to me, those stone figures are the hunter Orion.
Right.
And Orion has a little 3 dots like a penis. Anyway, so we'll go down to the next picture.
Okay.
Next picture is talking about Tutelary deities, and it just says Earth deity, Tutelary deity, although because it's a low god in a sense. High gods generally are less chance of being Tutelary deities.
Okay.
Because the supreme gods are generally care about you worship them, not they are.
They don't help you. Yeah, they don't help you. They're too far above you to help. That's
right. In a sense. And then deity, enforcement, and divine order. Well, divine order can be a tutelary, but enforcement generally is not on our side.
Right.
But it depends. So go ahead and read where it says low god, tutelary, supreme deity.
Yeah. Okay. So it says low gods, earth, tutelary, deity, high gods, sky, supreme deity, and moralistic gods, deity, enforcement, divine order. And then it says low gods, earth, or tutelary deity. Earth deities can at least be traced to Earth Mother with a complementary Sky Father in Proto-Indo-European religion. A tutelary deity is a guardian, patron, or protector of a particular place, geographic feature, person, lineage, nation, culture, or occupation. Lares gods were guardian ancestors in ancient Roman religion. High gods or sky or supreme deity. Masculine sky gods are often also a king of the gods, sky father, often pairing with an earth mother, goddess. Pairings of a sky father with an earth father are less frequent. A main sky goddess is often the queen of the gods, though she usually has other functions, as well as with sky not being her main area.
Right, because generally it's the father that's the main area in the sky. So then here it says the dog is a wolf-like canid.
Oh, yeah. So the dog is a wolf-like canid. The genetic divergence between the dog's ancestor and modern wolves occurred between 20,000 and 40,000 years ago. The idea of dogs as spirit guides, protectors, seems likely to go back to shamanism's origins, 34,000 years ago in Siberia, near the Russian border. Tutelary deity, spirit guardians. A tutelary is a deity or a spirit who is a guardian, city, god, or goddess, patron, or protector of a particular place, geographic feature, person, personal angel, spirit, protector, guide, or family or clan deities. Lineage, nation, culture, or occupation. The etymology of tutelary expresses the concept of safety and thus guardianship, seen in many cultures like ancient Greece and Rome, Austronesians, Hinduism, Tibetan, Buddhism, Chinese folk religion, Christianity, Germanic, Indonesian folk religion, Judaism, Korean shamanism, Tibeto-Burman Métis, Native Americans, Philippine folk religion, Japanese Shinto, Slavic Europe, Thai folk religion, Turkic folk religion, and in Vietnamese folk religion.
Right. And also, to me, a lot of times they say folk religion instead of just saying traditional religion.
Right.
Or whatever. Or sometimes they would just say shamanism, or they would say, if saying Chinese, they may say Taoism, and they're saying these different things. But or they may say shamanism, Wu shamanism, whatever. Those all are considered, because in other words, also, so you know, and I know we talked about it before, like about China. So the Taoism, and Confucianism, a lot of those ideas actually go back further to shamanism ideas, especially not all Buddhism is closely related, but certainly Tibetan Buddhism is closely related to Bon and Bu, and that has to do with the traditional shamanism of Tibet and the traditional shamanism of Siberia, which are almost the same.
Right. Okay.
And so they in other words, when you say Tibetan Buddhism, you're really in a sense saying shamanistic Buddhism, because it's not normal Buddhism.
Okay.
Like there's like two major branches of Buddhism. One has tons of deities and gods. One focuses on that less. And then there's also Tibetan Buddhism, which is about shamanism in a sense.
Okay.
Sort of, mixed in. So it's not. Anyways, just so you can get the idea of what that is. And also, like I said, with folk religion, this is just like a white person's way of not wanting to,
It just adds that kind of like, it's like the word primitive in a sense almost.
Yeah. But of course, I don't mean it that way, because of course,
Right.
once again, I'm trying to show is all this shit is the same. So, I mean, it's calling them primitive or folk religion and saying Christianity is not a folk religion when literally they have the same bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
how is yours any different, hey?
Right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say. Well, you could, instead of calling it, say, you could use it for all German folk religion. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Greek folk religion, Roman folk religion, Austronesian folk religion. I'm just making a comment that, also when I'm saying this, I don't mean it in any bigoted way.
For sure.
Oh, but that doesn't mean that how some people use those terms, they think of those as less than.
Right.
Which, like I said, if you're
one of those,
religion, they're all less than, because they're not facts. But like we can also judge, what they offer, and the ones that offer justice and shit. How could I not be, okay with that one?
Right.
I'm not okay with you believing lies, though. So that's the problem.
That is exactly.
Anyway, so then go ahead and read the 6,000-year-old Tutelary.
6,000 years old. Social justice Tutelary goddess Nanshi, the social justice goddess, was a Mesopotamian goddess in various contexts, such as justice and social welfare. As a tutelary deity of a Mesopotamian city, the oldest evidence of Nanshi's worship dates back to the Uruk period, approximately 4,000 to 3,100 BCE, or 6,000 to 5,100 years ago. She functioned as the divine protector and benefactor of various disadvantaged groups, including orphans, widows, and people from indebted households. The Egyptian goddess of justice is Ma'at. She represents truth, order, morality, justice, and balance. In Greek mythology and religion, Themis is the goddess and personification of justice, divine order, law, and custom. Zhu Tian Zanu is the goddess of war, sex, and longevity in Chinese mythology. Her name has been variously translated as the Dark Lady or the Mysterious Lady in English.
Right, and you can hear that when they say it like the mysterious, that almost sounds like how they talk about the Great Spirit being the great mystery.
Right.
And we already know there's a lot of influence of Chinese ideas in the Native Americans. So when people think like, oh, that seems kind of like yin and the yang, yeah. Or like the concept of feng shui or qi, yeah.
Right.
These ideas are all related. This is not, yeah. It's not like some people think where everybody made their own religion or something. No, that's not what happened. Everybody adapted the in a sense mono religion with our ideas and to their own stuff. But as you see too, isn't a lot of it kind of the similar, like justice,
Yeah.
They just changed some of the stuff. But keep reading.
Okay. A goddess with magical abilities, such as the skill of mobilizing the stars of the Northern Dipper to protect the state. The goddess Xuantian Xuanyu and the six maidens together represent the yin force in the universe. Jiantian Xuanyu is described as one of the three deities who are sitting on divine tortoises. In the Ming Dynasty, Xuantian Xuanyu officially became a celestial protectress and was venerated as a tutelary goddess of the state.
Right, which I think is, as an anarchist, is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
What the fuck? There's a deity that is for the state, protects it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
How do we go from Nancy protecting the people
right
to this chick protecting the state?
It's not the right way to go.
Yeah, but you can see that it's changing. It starts off 6,000 years ago. It's protecting people.
Yeah.
And then it protects the state. Like capitalism just keeps consolidating.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Atira, literally our mother or mother vocative, is the title of the earth goddess, among others, in the Native American Pawnee tribal culture. Her earthly manifestation is corn, which symbolizes the life that Mother Earth gives. Esteemed for her nurturing and protective qualities, Atira symbolizes the very essence of life that springs from the earth. The Pawnee people consciously chose to prioritize hunting over farming. They believed that the act of agriculture, particularly plowing, disrespected her sacred nature and disrupted the balance of the natural world. Instead, they honored Atira by living in harmony with the land, deriving their sustenance from the wild bounty of the fields and forests.
Right. So right there, it already is both good and not good, right?
Right.
Because now you can't do other things to sustain yourself without supposedly harming the goddess.
Right. Yeah. If you do this thing, you're breaking the rules in a sense.
Right. Which is a totemistic idea, but I'm just saying that still that you can see the difference. So some of them, the older one is all about the people,
right?
And the younger ones start having different, not great for us.
Yeah. The more recent it gets, the more it's like applying rules and
it revolves in a way that's not really that great.
Yeah.
And then like this right here is go ahead and read the next one. The
sure.
Norse.
For Seti, Old Norse, the presiding one, president in modern Icelandic and Pharisee, is the god of justice and reconciliation in Norse mythology. Glitnir, meaning one who shines, is the hall of Forseti, and the seat of justice among gods and men. Glitnir is symbolic of the importance of discussion rather than violence as a means of resolution of conflict within the Norse tradition. God of the Frisians, who are an ethnic group indigenous to the coastal regions of the Netherlands, northwest Germany, and southern Denmark.
Right. That's the ones that had this specific god as their god.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, you're just showing you these different things, right? That they're all sort of talking about justice, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And protection in a sense. So then the next that's just I could have done a whole bunch more, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, because like I wanted to make sure that people grasp that I don't care what anyone says about them being limited to Rome or say Greece or something. They're not limited to that.
Right.
So that's an inaccurate understanding of what the whole scope of what they are. And like I said, I also think it's important because they were there at the first deity and they're still here. So in a sense.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it's important to understand them. And also people can or an ancestor or a thing can also be a Tutelary, especially if it's for a certain group or family or thing or whatever. Like when they say the God of the Jews or whatever, that is a Tutelary for the Jews.
Right, right.
So anyway, so this next picture, this is a shaman, to me, the first shaman burial that's obvious, and it's a female, and it's somewhere between 27 and 25,000 years ago in Czech Republic. And she's got a little fox.
Okay.
And then these mammoth bones were laid over her. Anyways. So, and to me, she's buried with a fox is likely first evidence of a Tutelary spirit guardian helping her to the afterlife. And then the next picture is in Jordan, and it's 17,000 in a sense to 14,000 years, and it has, in a sense, fox burial remains in a shaman burial again.
Okay.
So you see that the shaman and this animal was connected.
Right.
And also right outside the grave, there's a turtle shells. So it shows turtles are involved. But this right now we're focusing on the dogs.
Right.
Because I mean, that's why I've been trying to do is break it all up. And you know, because my wife has lost her job thing, I'm not going to probably be able to finish even all these 20 videos. I'll do as many as I can.
Yeah.
That'll be it.
Do what we can do.
But I still feel really super glad we've done some good shit. We've kicked religion's ass and supported anarchism and talked about all kinds of great stuff. So I feel really happy.
Yeah.
Even though I wish that it was not happening like this, but whatever. It's life. So then this next picture is an Israel burial. And it's showing a woman buried with a puppy dog. And then this other pelvis has teeth from, I think it's fox teeth. So it's showing that once again, there's still a sacred kind of connection going with the dogs when they're buried.
Right.
Then the next picture is the one of when the first sort of paganism is happening. And I think in a sense, these are like the master of animals, I think is what this thing is of the animals and the person, the shaman, and which is over 12,000, it's like 12,700 or something.
Right.
That I think relates to, in a sense, Tutelary deities. That sort of a master of animals thing is more than just a real person. It's like a concept. Anyways,
right. Okay.
So go ahead and read where it says results of indicate the oldest trait of religion.
Yeah, it says results indicate that the oldest trait of religion present in the most recent common ancestor of present-day hunter-gatherers was animism, in agreement with long-standing beliefs about the fundamental role of this trait. Belief in an afterlife emerged, followed by shamanism and ancestor worship. Ancestor spirits or high gods who are active in human affairs were absent in early humans, suggesting a deep history for the egalitarian nature of hunter-gatherer societies.
Right, because that's also where I try to tell people when they're like, "Oh, well, what about these, figurines and stuff? That those are spirits."
Right.
Did they worship them? Probably not.
Not in the way that you might mean worship.
Yeah. Did they use them in religious ceremonies or in a religious way? Yes, that I
Right.
would agree. Do they worship them? I don't. No, I don't. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think later. That's
Is there a
later.
difference between like veneration and worship?
Well, there's a difference in the fact of seeing something as sacred and seeing
Right.
something that you worship, because not everything that's sacred do you worship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
So
a lot of like say a Native American may feel a sacred connection to say the killer whale because that's
Right.
their moiety, and then the raven because that's their clan. But they
Right.
don't worship those things.
Right. They feel in tune with them in a different way.
Right. They feel like there's genetic lineage that relates to their clan.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I'm just making a comment. So go ahead and read the AI overview.
Sure. So it says in various cultures, ancestor spirits are revered as tutelary deities, acting as protectors and guardians for their descendants. Many cultures hold the beliefs that the spirits of ancestors can become tutelary deities. These ancestors are seen as having the ability to watch over their descendants and offer protection, often linked to specific lineages or families.
Right, which makes sense. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you understand, especially for shamanism. Remember,
Yeah.
because animism, when you die, you do go up to the space, but that's it. You're not
Right.
like living up there. And the same with totemism. When you die and animals go up there too, that's it.
Yeah.
They don't keep it's shamanism that says, oh no, you don't die.
Right.
Which
It's
is
interesting.
also why I think that there's not really evidence of totemism killing children, but there certainly is evidence of shamanism killing children, especially the ones that went to Europe. And then by the time they go back to, the Americas and stuff, they spread their thinking.
Right.
But I think one of the reasons is they don't think they're really dying.
Right. They believe because
Right?
they see it as a continuation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, which like I said, so shamanism is way more caring than totemism, because totemism has to be, you have to be a man because you have to have lineage, or you have to be a woman because you have to have babies because you're the lineage. Way more like that. Shamanism doesn't care about that shit. A lot of people are gender, switching or more towards female anyways, or gay and trans. They don't have, that's not a problem for them because they don't care about lineage.
Right.
So that's a positive. I'm just saying like positive and negative. I see that as positive. They welcome all kinds of people. They don't care, but they think it's okay to kill people because they don't really die.
Right. Which is where like our adherence to like facts matters, right?
Yeah, like
in reality, people do die.
That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
like
we'll
just
see
because
him
you
in
believe
afterlife.
there's
No, you won't.
no, you won't. Sorry. You don't get to devalue this just because you think that there's something after.
Right. So like, that because I like to, try to explain, both the good and the bad, because I'm not like promoting people should go be shamanisms now. Or,
Right. Right. For sure.
No. But I also don't want to like, be like some atheists and act like every single type of religion or thinking is the same.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah. There's definitely differences.
Right, definitely differences. Like I said, look at those two, the deity in Samaria, and then the deity that ends up, in China, that's worshiping the state or protecting the state. It goes from protecting a person, which is, way cooler, or people, the victimized, to protecting the victimizers.
Right.
So, yeah. But go ahead and read The Master of Animals.
Okay. The master of animals, seemingly a tutelary deity of animals, seemingly over 12,000 years old, seen at 12,700 years old at Kortik Tepe in Turkey and at Sayburg, Turkey, 11,000 years ago. Lord of animals or mistress of the animals, at least by 8,000 years ago, seen at Çatalhöyük, Turkey, is a motif in ancient art showing a human between and grasping two confronted animals. The motif is very widespread in the art of Mesopotamia. The figure may be female or male, it may be a column or a symbol, the animals may be realistic or fantastical, and the human figure may have animal elements such as horns, an upper animal body, an animal lower body, legs, or cloven feet. Although what the motif represents to the cultures that created the works probably varies greatly, unless shown with specific divine attributes, when the male figure is typically described as a hero by interpreters. Although such figures are not all or even usually deities, the term may be a genetic name for a number of deities from a variety of cultures with close relationships to the animal kingdom or in part animal form, in cultures where that is not the norm. These figures control animals, usually wild ones, and are responsible for their continued reproduction and availability for hunters. They all may have a Stone Age precursor who was probably a hunter's deity. Many relate to the horn
Right. With
deity.
that, remember I told you also, I figured that out also.
Right.
It wasn't agriculture. All this time I thought 12,000 when paganism started, it was because of the need of agriculture. Because you
Right.
have to pray, well, this crop's not doing it. But that I should have looked more into it, which I did now, so I know that, well, no, they were still doing hunting cult, and then it went herding cult, but they still had the hunting cult. So they had the hunting and herding cult, and then they added the what do you call it? Agricultural cult, which they still had the hunting cult and they still had the herding cult,
Right.
but to a lesser extent. So to me, it reminds me of how I realized that paganism in general is animism, like Legos, animism, and then you put on top of that totemism, and then you stack another Lego shamanism, and you stack another one with gods. Now you have paganism. But in a sense, paganism is paganism, shamanism, totemism, animism.
Right.
It didn't lose. It just keeps stacking more stuff on. And that's what I realized with paganism too. So shamanism and animism and totemism, all three of those have hunting cult. They don't have herding.
Right.
They don't have, you see what I'm saying? So they're or agriculture cult. So they have just hunting. So that was the norm. It happened in the Middle East that it switched to animal domestication and then herding cult. And then a little bit after that, 8,500 or something, or 9,000, then it's the agriculture cult. But it's not like all of the hunting and all of the herding goes away.
Right.
It's just now that becomes more prominence, and eventually even like the two brothers story in general, to me, relates to the war of the hunting and the agriculture. Because remember the Native American, what did they say? Hunting is better. Agriculture actually is a lesser or harmful thing to the earth.
Right.
So,
right.
And a lot of times, if even and nowadays they know when a herder and agriculture is like in Africa go together and work together, the herder is always the superior to the agriculturalist, or seen as less than.
Interesting.
So it's hierarchical in that sense. That always agriculture is less than, which is interesting. That's why I told you, I realized, oh, well, that's because it was the upstart. It wasn't. But the story of the two brothers, when the one kills the other, is actually talking about agriculture killing the hunter.
Interesting.
Because in the Bible story, it says the one brother that does meat and hunting was big and burly and hairy, big hairy beard, hairy chest like a goat. And the other brother, so you can hear them making judgments. The other brother was hairless, feminine, weak, vegetarian.
Right.
He's, And it says God did not like his offering of the vegetables, but he
Right.
really liked the meat offering. But so then Cain, the agriculturist, kills the hunter Abel in the
Right.
story. And I think it's really talking about the battle of agriculture 8,000 years ago, kind of kicking the hunter's ass and
Right.
taking over. And that's kind of what, in a sense, the story is kind of referencing.
It's kind of a symbolic story
a
about
symbolic story of how agriculture said, we're taking over.
yeah. Just became the more prevalent way of living. So
Right. And then right, exactly. And it became sedentary and stronger and stuff. Anyways, but my point is, so these things, these motifs are related. Then go to the next picture, and this shows Orion, which is, I think, those figures with their penises.
Okay.
And if you see Orion, not with them drawing extra stuff, but just the original Orion,
right,
who didn't have a bow and didn't have a club in his hand.
Right.
Just the original stars did have the little penis thing.
Right.
And has like a belt, right? And so a lot of these figures are like holding their penis or whatever. And like the one has a necklace. I think these are like similar to what this is trying to say.
Okay. Interesting.
So, anyways, and then go down. It says the heavenly shepherd or the giant great hunter.
Yeah. So the heavenly shepherd or the giant great hunter. Depictions of the consistently phallic Egyptian god Min show the deity in a standing position in a stance that closely follows the Orion constellation. In Egyptian mythology, the god Min, associated with fertility, harvest, and male virility, was linked to the constellation Orion. Depictions of Min, often with an erect phallus, visually resemble the Orion constellation, particularly the alignment of stars in Orion's belt. In ancient Egypt, the stars of Orion were regarded as a god called Sa, representing a constellation that encompassed the stars in Orion and Lepus, as well as stars found in some neighboring modern constellations. The Babylonian star constellations of the late Bronze Age, named Orion, meant the heavenly shepherd or true shepherd of Anu, Anu being the chief god of the heavenly realms.
Right, and a shepherd is not an agriculturalist.
Right. Yeah, it's a pastoralist, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a herder.
Yeah.
So that to me, it's talking about the herding cult there.
Right.
See, so it's a different version, because the first version should be that the hunter is killed, and in a sense, herders take over, the more civilized people.
Right.
Right. And then the agriculturists take over, because they go, yeah, we're more civilized than you.
Right.
Than you shepherds. Any sense. So I see like them throwing the theme in of these things that just kind of repeats the same sort of theme.
For sure. Yeah, the true shepherd of Anu is a human figure, clothed, bearded, and the twins, Gemini, or i.e. Gemini, who stand out in front of the true shepherd of Anu, are two human figures clothed. The celestial body that stands below the true shepherd of Anu is the rooster, Lepus. Orion served several roles in ancient Greek culture. The story of the adventures of Orion, the hunter, is the one for which there is the most evidence, and even for that, not very much. He is also the personification of the constellation of the same name. He was a venerated as a hero in the Greek sense. The Seri people of northwestern Mexico call the three stars in the belt of Orion Hapche, a name denoting a hunter, which consists of three stars, and in China, Orion is related to Siu, which literally meaning three refers to the stars of Orion's belt. In Siberia, the Chukchi people see Orion as a hunter, and in old Hungarian tradition, Orion is called Nimrod, the greatest hunter, father of the twins Hunor and Magor.
So you can see that, unlike Graham Hancock, Damien doesn't have to imagination makeup shit about
Right.
what I think those statues are. I look at what the facts are, and the facts support what the conclusion I'm trying to have.
Right.
I told you, once I realized that, it's profound, because then you look all more evidence and it just keeps saying, well, Damien, that's the right way. It was hunting cult, herding cult, agriculture. I thought it was hunting, agriculture. And so I was wrong. So, but I wasn't
That's
super
fair.
wrong. I mean, I was pretty close to a lot of stuff. It just
Right.
in that area, I was wrong. I
Yeah.
didn't know there was something in between. And I didn't understand until now how important, like, these figurines. I didn't know what these figures were doing. Truly.
Right.
I thought maybe it related to ancestors, because they're dick, and then, you know, like a totem pole is an ancestor pole. So that makes sense.
Sure.
A totemistic kind of thing that is saying this is our clan. They're like a pseudo clan thing, which in a sense it could still have elements. Because once again, just like when you go read a deity's name and they say it's a deity of one thing, right? No, it says a deity of this, and
Right.
this, sometimes this, more often this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that also we see stuff too plain. And so I don't believe that I am giving you like the entire depth of what
Right.
believed. I am giving you the cliff notes of how religion happened, is more my goal, you know.
Yeah.
Because you would have to, as you already see, learn shit tons just to understand that I'm right, and then you would have to learn even more to actually understand all this on your own.
Yeah, for sure.
It would not be something you can learn very quickly. But anyway, so my point is, though, you can see that it's not me just randomly saying, oh, I think this is this because it has a penis thing. They are saying it's Orion.
Right.
And I say it's a hunting goes to herding. They are saying herding, shepherd, and hunter. They are saying that you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're saying that thing relates to this, and that thing relates to, like, the men, the guy holding his penis.
Right.
So it's all of it is pointing to the same thing. That's why I told you. I realized, holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna not be Graham Hancock. I'm gonna accept the facts as they present themselves, and that means that it obviously agriculture was less important than I thought at the beginning of paganism.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
that means also there was no Earth Mother.
Mm.
So remember the big thing of Earth Mother and Sky Father, it would have been a Sky Mother and a Sky Father. It would have
Right.
been no Earth anything.
Because the Earth, yeah.
Earth
a
is an
different thing.
emergent mound out of the thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the beginning. The water was the beginning. The
Right.
goddess, remember, like we learned 4 in Mesopotamia, and also many other religions. The like Nyx even is considered just the water. Or
Right.
she was born out of the water, which is the goddess of the water.
Right.
Right. So once again, you're back to the same thing. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Which you remember, the sky is water to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you grasp that, you go, oh, okay. So that's why it's water.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I'm just making a comment. So it's a sky deity that relates to water. So but also why people don't understand that Poseidon used to be a sky deity, but everybody thinks about him as being under the water. And like, well, how can that relate? Well, once you understand how I'm saying it, so once you understand that Poseidon actually is a sky deity, and that's not a problem for a water deity because the sky is water.
Right.
Right. Because otherwise, if you didn't grasp that, you'd be like, well, how the hell is a water deity part of the sky?
Right.
So,
yeah.
But anyways,
yeah, like you say, once you grasp that the sky is water, then it just makes sense, right?
Exactly. So just keep reading. But yeah, all this is relating.
Okay, so we are at in Greek mythology, Orion is a hunter with hunting dogs, Canis major and minor, that mirror the wild hunt's entourage. And whenever Scorpius appears, Orion hides away, for the two are never to be seen together. The wild hunt is a folklore motif occurring across various northern, western, and eastern European societies. The wild hunt typically involves a chase led by a mythological figure escorted by ghostly or supernatural hunters engaged in pursuit. Orion and his hunting dogs in the Milky Way. Canis Major and Minor are depicted in mythology as Orion's two hunting dogs. The AI overview. The term dogs on the Milky Way likely refers to the constellations Canis Major, greater dog, and Canis Minor, lesser dog, which are associated with Orion the hunter, to me related with the master of animals, and are prominently positioned near the Milky Way. These constellations, along with the star Sirius, are also linked to the dog days of summer and various cultural myths and traditions. Additionally, there's a type of galaxy called dogs, dust-obscured galaxies, which are incredibly luminous but hidden by dust.
This next one is about the Korak people of Siberia. And they definitely have very close ties to indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
And they do dog sacrifice, where they literally stick a spear through a dog and put it like at the entry of their house.
Oh, geez.
So, and you do this. There's other tribes that do this, but yeah. So,
okay.
So go ahead and read what it says. Sacrifice of dogs so they can protect.
Yeah, so sacrificing dogs so they can protect you spiritually or in the afterlife, thus a Tutelary spirit guardian. AI overview. The Koryak people of Siberia practiced animal sacrifice, including dogs, to appease spirits and ensure prosperity, particularly for hunting and other aspects of their livelihood. These sacrifices were not just random acts of violence, but ritualistic events performed at specific times and in specific ways. Koryaks believed that sacrificing dogs, particularly to the Kala, a malevolent spirit, could ward off evil and ensure the success of the hunting season or other endeavors. For instance, maritime Koryaks would sacrifice dogs in early spring to ensure a successful hunting season, often hanging the dogs from poles in front of their houses. In some cases, a portion of the blood from the sacrifice would be sprinkled on the ground. As the Koryak also practiced rituals involving animal sacrifice in relation to their belief in the raven, a creator god, with dogs sometimes being sacrificed and served to the raven as a delicacy. While dogs were sometimes sacrificed and eaten, it's important to note that they were generally well cared for and not typically seen as primary source of food except in times of extreme famine. In essence, the Koryak dog sacrifices were deeply embedded in their religious beliefs and were part of a complex system of rituals aimed at ensuring the well-being of their community and the relationship with the natural world.
Right. The next picture, it shows the guardian dog.
Right. Huh.
Go ahead and read the...
Sure. Yeah, so it says the guardian of the habitation has the shape of a post, tapering at the top and sometimes forked. The thinner branch representing the arm of the charm. It is located close to the village, usually on a hill overlooking. That's interesting.
Right on. So then go ahead and read the stuff below it.
Okay, sacrificing dogs to appease supernatural forces has been part of religious traditions as different as those of ancient Greece, where the Spartans slaughtered dogs to ensure victory in battle, and Shang Dynasty China. Some inscribed oracle bones dating to this period, 1766 to 1050 BCE, mention the rite of Ning, which involved dismembering a dog to honor the winds. Often sacrificed dogs were single offerings, as was the case of the dog killed at the Minoan site of Monastiraki in Crete, where excavation director Athanasia Kanta last year found a small bench with a skeleton of a dog, missing its head, and several conical cups arranged around it. Animal sacrifice is the ritual killing and offering of animals, usually as part of a religious ritual or to appease or maintain favor with a deity. Animal sacrifices were common throughout Europe and in the ancient Near East until the spread of Christianity in late antiquity, and continue to in some cultures or religions today. Human sacrifice, where it existed, was always much rarer, Animal sacrifice should generally be distinguished from the religiously prescribed methods of ritual slaughter of animals for normal consumption as food. During the Neolithic Revolution, 12,000 years ago, early humans began to move from hunter-gatherer cultures toward agriculture, leading to the spread of animal domestication. In a theory presented in Homo Nicans, mythologist Walter Burkert suggests that the ritual sacrifice of livestock may have developed as a continuation of ancient hunting rituals as livestock replaced wild game in the food supply.
Which is what I kind of, in a sense, think.
Right. Okay.
And so then this next picture is about shamanism, just showing it spread out of Lake Baikal.
Okay.
And go ahead and read the thing under it.
Sure. Says several linguists and geneticists suggest that the Uralic languages are related to various Siberian languages and possibly also to some languages of northern Native Americans. A proposed family is named Uralo-Siberian. It includes Uralic, Yukagir, Eskimo Aleut or Inuit, possibly Nivka, and Chukotho Kamchakan. Haplogroup Q is found in nearly all Native Americans and nearly all of Yeniseian Ket people, 90%. You can find some form of shamanism among Uralic, Trans-Eurasian, Dene Yeniseian, Chukotho Kamchakan, and Eskelut languages.
Right. We already talked about that before also, but
yeah,
this is trying to, help you understand like how these ideas are similar because of the people going and spreading their ideas.
Right.
It's not like magic. It's not, and I know which way they went, and I show which culture, which DNA, which language,
Yeah. Yeah.
Unlike, Graham Hancock that just says, well, I don't even know where the culture is. And what did the culture do? I don't know where, but it went all these, places thousands of years removed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Globe spanning, like, get real. It's just absolute, like, comic book bullshit.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantasy land. So, and why more people don't like my stuff when I do explain it all, I don't know.
It's not comic book enough. That's what it is. It's not a fantasy. They want a fantasy.
I'm like the debunker of magic.
Right. People want to believe in magic.
Of gods.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I guess that's not as sexy as the teller of lies.
I guess, yeah. Like I not that long ago I published our discussion, an edited version of our discussion on Atlantis, and some of the comments that I've had to remove were quite rude, but also like very strange in the way that they just credulously believe in like this fictional thing that was made up by Plato. Like it's remarkable the way that people just want to believe in fiction as
well. And I'm sure you probably, when you first thought like it's not a big deal, and you find out, oh, it's a little bigger deal than you think.
Yeah, that's right. And the arguments are almost never actually related to like the topic. It's almost always like just random things like you guys are out of your depth, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Like it's always like you don't know what you're talking about and here's why. It's never that. It's never and here's why.
Right, yeah. Oh, sure. If I'm wrong, go ahead and explain.
Yeah, that's right. But
I mean, if I like, because look at that, all the stuff that you read backs up what I'm claiming.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, if it didn't, then that would be, then I'm asking you to have faith,
Right. Which is not our thing.
Wait a minute. Hold on now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, my ideas should be thought about in a serious way, not because I'm saying them, but because the evidence that I present supports their reasonable conclusion.
Right.
Then the next picture, remember this one when we did the where you lived and where I lived at the time?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It'll be different if I move to Texas, but of course I'll
I
be
guess,
straight
eh?
under you at that time. Yep.
Yeah.
So then the next picture, it shows the red is shamanism.
Ah, okay. That's cool.
And you see it's mainly up in the north,
Right.
but it's also in other spots. So it's not, and depending on the way that the people do their religion, it actually can be in other areas.
right.
But people may not call it distinctly that. You know what I'm saying? Like a blend.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
Right. Because like I told you, to me, you can't understand shamanism as somehow like not removed. Like shamanism maybe 31,000 or 34,000 years ago was just shamanism and animism.
Right.
But shamanism that's nowadays, it will have even paganism in it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because it's super evolved with all the new stuff. So you can't think of it anymore
As just this one thing.
Yeah, because it's that day is long past.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I mean, somebody, of course, could choose to limit it to that, but then it's a forced thing, not what actually explaining. Because that's what I do is explain what actually naturally happened,
Right.
or I try to give you the most reasonable conclusion I can see of what actually happened, and then here's the evidence to support why that's a reasonable conclusion.
Right. Yeah, you're not trying to be prescriptive, you're trying to be descriptive in a
Right, exactly. So, and also I'm willing to change and I'm willing to be challenged. And if someone challenges me, I don't get mad or, I go
Right.
cool and provide the facts. And if they ask me a hard question that I don't know, or then I say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't claim to absolutely know every single little minute fact. No, I'm not claiming that. Because I was trying very hard to solve this.
Right.
So not trying to become the most literate at every myth of the world or
Right.
DNA of the world. Not that I haven't become more fluent with all that, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was not to become a mythicist where I can explain all the myths. My goal was to debunk religion.
Right.
Just completely rip its foundations out completely. So that anyone who wants to have a rational mind, look at the evidence, would realize religion is a human product, period. It is a product of culture. Done. That's it. Like what else? No, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
So and I didn't just flippantly look at a few things and just come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
I have looked for years and years. Since 2006, I've been trying to figure it out. It's just recently that I've felt like, oh, I'm starting to figure this out.
Right.
And as you see, I'm getting more and more confident. Well, that's not because I'm more arrogant. It's because I'm figuring it out. Especially once I stopped the stupid think of that had to be farming 12,000 years ago. No. Once I got over that hurdle,
right,
then it made everything else more. Because then I started to look at it. Then I can get what it is. Oh, it's hunting and herding. It's nothing to do. So I could put it in different contexts. Because aren't they saying that that's a hunting? If I think, you understand why it was limited. It's just because it's helpful to grasp why it was wrong. Then you can understand how not to also maybe not be wrong that way also.
Right. So
because my concept was that agriculture, even they said the agricultural revolution, that didn't happen. So because I had that concept just like everybody else.
Right.
That's why none of us have been able to figure it out because we're looking at the wrong thing. So we think agricultural revolution, even Marx and everything, 12,000 years ago is that agriculture did this. So that Paganism is an agriculture religion. Ta-da! But then I read Orion, and what do they say? The Sumerians says that's a shepherd,
Right.
and the Greeks go, oh well, no, actually that's a hunter. So if my mind says it has to be agriculture, I think that is nothing. I don't know what that shit is. Must have been
Right.
something
That's a
they
whole
invented.
yeah. Yeah. You
Do
don't
you
have
get
an
what I'm saying?
explanation for it.
Then I look right at the stuff and I'm like, what does that matter? You know, I don't get it. You get my point. I'm just saying, because it had to be agriculture.
Right.
So if I read something that's just said otherwise, then I think, well, then I don't know what that is. So I was like confused. My block was because it had to fit the thing that I had limited myself for. I don't know why, just because I believed everybody,
Right. I guess,
But that's what I'm trying to say. So sometimes we have to do that too.
Yep.
I feel is that we have to look at everything ourselves, and then we have to rationally think, does this really fit the evidence? Not like because I was doing that too, without even realizing it, a preconceived idea that this is the agricultural revolution. So paganism is an agricultural religion. See what I'm saying? And so then anything that didn't fit that, I wouldn't say it's not there. I would just go, I don't know what that is or how it relates.
Right. Which is actually better than like a denial of sorts, right? Like it's better to be saying I don't know, but then it is better to once you learn more to apply that.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. Once I realized you can't, but then it reminds me too, really, this is a bigger problem. If your mindset like Democrats are the good guys, right? Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, right?
Yeah.
Why not make a Democrat happy? But that's because they have to be the hero. They have to be, right?
Yeah.
How you never hold them accountable if they can never be bad?
Yep.
It's like people are like saying, don't talk about Biden before Trump's thing. Then after Trump wins, people say, don't talk about Biden. Let's just move on.
Yep.
Like if you never hold these people accountable, how do you ever think anything is going to change?
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, I just, and I see people do that. I don't understand, Corey. As an anarchist, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Do you understand that you, just like people feel it's wrong, right? That if Trump, right, because especially the Democrats have grasped this, Colbert being pulled off the air, right, because of maybe saying stuff about Trump is protecting Trump. Do you really think we should protect Trump?
Right.
You really think that a politician should be protected? You
not.
gotta deep down know, no.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what happens? Then they become these glorified monsters.
Yeah.
Just with
no accountability, no responsibility. Just
and I don't care how generous you want to be about Biden and the Israeli war stuff. You have to admit, he did giving money to Israel when the majority of people said don't do that.
Yeah. That's right.
So, but I think it's because they get in their head, they're the saviors, they're the ones that are the right side of history. First off, if you're supporting someone who's killing a bunch of children, you're not on the right side of history. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like recently, seeing Netanyahu come out and say people in Gaza are not starving. What the fuck?
It's just a denial of fact, right?
But so then just think, what kind of people unconditionally support someone like that?
Yeah.
Right? And so then I can't somehow look at Biden and judge him for that shit?
Right.
Really? So if we can't judge him for children being killed and genocide, what the fuck can you judge someone for?
What are the criteria then?
You know what I'm saying? How fucking bad do they have to be? Oh, I think for some people, it may just be the other party.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Which that doesn't work for me as an anarchist because I'm like, they all kind of suck, really. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we get the same thing with the liberals and conservatives here. Like, if you're anti-conservative, like, you can have people agreeing with you all day long.
right.
But as soon as you say, well, Carney increasing military spending and not spending that money on social programs, that's a bad thing, then they're like all over you. Like, you're the devil who wants Polyev to be in charge again. You know, like you just want Polyev to be prime minister. Well, no, that's wrong.
Yes. Exactly the point. So, and you know, if you can't criticize everyone, then you're not going to get the best. You just aren't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not for leaders in general, but you should have the ones that are at least, I don't know, able to do the stuff you're asking of them.
Yeah, that's right. And
Which
is evidenced by the way that by the leaders that we have, right? You don't get the best because we don't hold them accountable. We don't force them to be good. So
no. And I think it's absolutely fucking wild.
Yeah.
They're so worried, they say, about losing the thing. But if they were worried about losing the thing, then why wouldn't they care more about what the voters want?
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee voters would like the wages going up.
Yep. That's right.
Because just think, even if they say, well, you know, we have to do our donors, but those aren't the majority of people. Those are the minority, right? So you're for the minority.
Yep.
So and of course, then I still can't criticize them, right?
Right. Somehow. Yeah, that's right.
Right. Even when they're literally selling us down the fucking river. Yeah, but at least they're doing it with a liberal bent, you know? Okay.
Yeah. They use nice words when they sell us down the river.
They did not use racism to basically sell us out to capitalists.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or not overt racism, because there's definitely still some of that in
well,
there.
you get. I'm just saying, even if they didn't, selling us out to the fucking capitalists was still that.
Yeah, that's right.
Allowing us to live in a world where we can go fucking hungry. This is horseshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Like I said, just the fact that they didn't bring the minimum wage up at all it shows that they're not for us.
Yeah, that's right.
What the fuck? They're not for us. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That people are like, they can't go to the leftist position. They won't even go to the liberal almost position.
Yeah, they actually are conservative and don't want to come to the centrist. Yeah,
that's why I said centrist elites. I don't even think they're liberals. I think they're centrist. I don't even believe they're liberals, because liberals still, to me, have some values that are better than centrists.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
No.
They like actually seem to believe in nothing and hold no values and just take opportunities.
See, and that's what everyone says, right? And that's all what they're leaderless. Yeah, because they literally have no other things. It's ridiculous. They should have all kinds. What the fuck? How could you act like you have nothing? Then you really are. If this has made it to where you have no issues to fight with all this shit going on, are you serious?
Yeah.
How about fighting for fucking trans rights, black rights, fucking DEI rights, or whatever it is? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, what? Abortion rights? What do you mean there's nothing to fucking, there's a shit. Healthcare is too much. Things are too expensive. We shouldn't have all this money spent on fucking war. What the fuck? And, and helping people more. Everything is, we should not be telling fucking colleges not to have ideas. What the fuck?
Right.
I mean, there's so much to fight, and Trump says now that employees can tell other people they need to follow their religion of choice. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you have nothing to fight.
You have so much to fight.
That just shows they stand, like you said, for fucking nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
They're just for them to stay at their elite status, and that, I guess that's almost it.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to a chance to do something and 1,000 fucking issues you can do, holy fucking shit, Trump is a racist, sexist, homophobe, fucking rapist, pedophile.
Yeah.
It can't find shit to fucking fight on.
Like, come on, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, just like then you know what I feel? Then get the fuck out of the way. Just close your fucking Democrat Party. Start something new. Because the shit is worthless. And if you're going to do the same shit, what the fuck? Who wants to go back to that crap?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's happening in the UK right now, actually. Like Jeremy Corbyn and some of the far left people, well, not even far left, but left electoral politicians in the UK are forming their own party because the Labour Party is a conservative party.
Yeah. But like I said, I thought it relates to this in a sense thing because this is about Tutelary,
Right.
And in a sense, a politician is supposed to be a Tutelary for the people, but they're not.
Right.
And they're supposed to, even like the Democrats, they have not wanted to have democracy for who gets to run. They haven't wanted to have fair votes. They haven't.
Yeah.
They have literally played shenanigan bullshit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How is it? But see, we can't criticize them, Corey.
Right.
But then how is that ever going to change? Just imagine that. Thinking that. I mean,
yeah.
That would be your value. You know, my value is we just never say any, even if we see, you know, don't ask, don't tell. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like you say, like, how do you, as say you're a member of the party, a Democrat with values that are socially progressive, but the party is never doing those things. How do you just swallow it? I don't quite grasp it.
And like I told you, here's my opinion. You want to be a Democrat? You feel we should all vote? Let's all vote Democrat. Why does that mean you can't criticize them?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Why does that mean we can't push him to do better stuff? I mean,
we have to.
I'm saying, how does those two actually don't have
you have to?
I voted for Kamala Harris, the Democrat. Every time that Trump ran, I have voted against his ass.
Right.
And in fact, before that point, before Trump ran, I had not voted in like 15 years because I felt it was just like horseshit. It's just horseshit. You have evil and bad. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I don't have a fucking choice. Then why fucking vote?
Yeah.
For all this horseshit, and I hate these people because they don't really care. It's just
that's just it. Yeah.
But once I told you, once Trump came, I was like, okay, now this is extra worse. This is going way back. This is not like a continuation of just some regular shit. This is trying to go back to vileness of like, I don't know, 100 years ago or something.
And the trouble,
kill people in the street, you know.
Part of the trouble is, I find that like Trump is, in my opinion, a fascist, and is in fact like anti every progressive value that I hold. And,
you couldn't pick someone almost that would want more stuff I don't want.
Yeah, and yet somehow the Democrats are not fighting him on anything in that way. They're just kind of like they're pulling themselves more towards him in the hopes that they'll pull away some of his base.
That's what my first writing was trying to explain. It's like I've been watching this. It's just going,
how
this to me, what it really shows. I knew they were bad and like centrists and shit, but this makes me go, man, like because Corey said, maybe they're just conservatives. They're not even centrists. They're literally just hidden conservatives, and they call themselves Democrats and say they're against Republicans, but it's really not that different.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. These fucking wealthy people are like holding us all hostage.
Yeah, that's right.
But like I said, because of Trump being so extra dog shit, I knew, man, when he first got in, I cried. I couldn't help it. It was like 3 or 5 hours. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Just because I realized humanity is going to the wrong way.
Yeah, that's right.
What the fuck?
Yep.
And it just breaks my heart because I know all those children are gonna fucking be hurt by this. People are gonna get killed for this. Just and more hate, which just puts unnecessary burden on humanity and people.
Yep.
It's just horrid.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that's why I not because I want to support what Democrats are doing. It's just I have to try to not let that fucker in.
Yep.
From my own self.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's just as bad as I fucking thought he was going to be. Actually, I thought he was going to be a little bit worse, especially the second time.
Right. He's pretty bad right now.
Well, no, but hasn't he become a taco, right? He says he's going to do a 50% tariff and then he drops it to 15 or something. So
yeah. To some
I
degree,
thought he would just do 50% and we were all fucked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like America's going to crash.
Yeah, that's for sure. On some things, there's definitely that. Yeah.
So and in that sense, he's just a little bit not as bad as I thought. And also MAGA attacking him like on the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
That's actually
a little bit better than I would have ever imagined. Like,
yeah, it's turning out pretty potentially good.
Wow, they actually are almost standing for a value.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be a pedophile and go and fucking having sex with children.
The one thing they might actually believe in.
Right. They said they did. But of course, we didn't believe them.
Of course.
This is
why would we?
And it may still happen. So I'm not trying to say they won't do this.
Yeah.
But because my thought is this. They're like, oh, yeah, it's bad. But then they realize Trump did it.
Right.
So they make an excuse. Well, see, we need to drop the age to 12 years old at the age of sexual consent. That's what they'll say, because it's not a pedophile. They're choosing. They're a child, but they're choosing.
Right?
You're going to do some shit like that.
Right. There are already some people that are like pundits and stuff that used to be like super pro Trump, but then this stuff came out, so they were questioning themselves, and now they're making excuses for Trump. So they're already playing the game.
Right. We'll say, well, who doesn't like younger women?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just making a comment.
That's what they're saying.
Those are not like women.
That.
Yeah. Those are children.
Yeah, that's right. Like, there's a reason that the age of consent has been going up the last few generations because we understand more and more that decision-making capabilities as younger people is sometimes harder or more limited because the brain development isn't quite there. Like,
yes, and I already told you too that when you have any kind of trauma as a child, it's always way worse than for an adult.
Right. Yeah.
So when, in other words, what we would say is, oh, no big deal, because we frame it different.
Right.
That may be the most traumatic thing of their entire life. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
The harm, even if they say, well, they consented, that doesn't mean there's no harm.
No, for sure. For sure.
You get what I'm trying to say? And
there's a
wrong because it's harmful.
There's a case here in Canada where some hockey players raped a girl and they're facing trial because and one of the defense's points is that, well, she consented in a way, and and the prosecution is like, well, there's no such thing as like one-time blanket consent for all acts, like, and you can't take this person and say, well, they consented to this one thing with this one person and apply that to all situations. And this young woman is like, she's got a deal, like she's facing enormous backlash. It's quite unreal. And like the way that the defense is making, it's pretty gross in my opinion.
I totally agree with you.
And this is a person who consent is not just like this thing that you can just do one time and be like, yeah, well, I consent to be used for sex for, all the time by all these customers or whoever. Like, you can't do that, and you especially can't do that as a young person. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty gross stuff, the way that society treats victims of these things.
Yeah. And people that are younger, when you say like their brains aren't developed, what that generally means, besides even the fact of someone being able to think better, like you said, it also has to do with your emotions. You have less emotional regulation.
Yeah.
Like we talked about in the one thing of emotional hijackings,
Right.
So their emotional hijackings, because they're not used to it, are more extreme. Like, say if they love or they cry and fear, it can be more extreme, where, like I was telling you before, how I am as a sociopath, most of the time I'm just kind of numb to life.
Right.
It takes a lot of stuff to bother me if I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's easy not to care, in other words, but I try to do that. But it's just about me. I don't really pay attention. Oh, and I look, oh yeah, it's not good. Whoa, that came out of my world for a second.
Right.
But in a sense, you or someone else could have emotional regulation better as an adult than you did as a youth.
Right.
So it's not just that you make better decisions, it's that your emotional attachment or reaction to them is going to be different.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm trying to say. So the children are not emotionally ready to really have sexual relationships.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Especially because a lot of times too, it involves a kind of breaking of trust.
Right.
Yeah. With an adult. Because it's like I heard one of the victims of Trump, and she said, well, he's an adult, and you just do what the adult says. See what I'm saying?
Right.
It makes you like, fucking, that's one of the reasons it's fucked up.
Yeah. And that's even if you don't, even if you have no other power dynamic, just the fact that one person is an adult and one is a
power dynamic,
is its own power dynamic. Exactly. So like the fact that Trump is a rich guy, and like,
that's also, power dynamic,
like, and in a patriarchal society, a man of a certain stature and a young girl of a certain probably much smaller physical stature, like
definitely.
Like there's all kinds of power plays that go into this stuff, and like just to it's just unequal in every way. And
right. And I think in general, our anarchist lens is aware of imbalances and inequalities.
Right.
It's obvious to us. We don't have the society thing that, well, the state is good and wonderful.
Rich people are good.
Yeah, rich people always benefit the society they're in.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have those rose-colored glasses or those filters that normal people seem to have.
Right. And like I said, that I had, in a sense, thinking that religion, paganism specifically, so not all religion, paganism related to agriculture religion. That's what I thought. And because I had that thing, because everyone says, even like you just read today, says agricultural revolution 12,000 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Take the agriculture out and, whatever, because that doesn't happen until 9,000. So it's not 12,000. 12,000's hurting.
That's a different thing. Yeah.
Right. Totally different thing. Shepherds. Yep. Anyways, so I'm just saying that it's important in general for us to, I think, grasp that the theme of these deities is that we should be protectors. I do like that part. And I also think that how you stay a protector is you have to be open to criticism or challenge. You can't be fucking never get challenged and think you're gonna always be this perfect good thing. I have a great mind. I've done a lot of research. I can still make an error. I can still have a blind spot. Here I thought I was doing great.
Right.
And here I am, huge blind spot, Neolithic revolution with agriculture. religion. No. And it literally for years has blinded me from the fucking truth that that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So I for me, I think that's profound.
For sure.
It helped change my whole concept of what happened.
Yep.
So, and that's what I think it's good for us to do too, is really look at society, accurately.
Yeah.
Not
that's right.
with some limitation like I had, coming up with the wrong answer.
Yeah.
If society says it's good, and so you try to fit everything that would make the Democrats good, or government good, or the state good, or rich people good.
Right.
Or like someone recently said to me, "Oh, Damien, saying you're an anarchist and a socialist, that's ridiculous." And I'm like, it's not ridiculous. It's literally where anarchism comes from. It's like a branch of socialism.
Yeah,
what are you
that's right.
talking about, dumbass? And he's like, "Oh no, I think you understand it wrong." I'm like, nope.
I don't know. There's a whole history here that we can look at.
I don't know. I've been anarchist like 20 years or something. I'm not sure. Long time.
Yeah.
Not saying I've read as much as Corey, but I get it.
I don't even claim to be like an expert on this, but there is definitely like enough history that like you should be able to know that socialism and anarchism are related.
and even I can't remember that one anarchist's name now, but because I'm not really big into people, but the anarchist that says something like that anarchism and socialism go together because they abolish the oppression of man over man.
Right.
They both wish to abolish that situation.
Yeah.
So he says, in that sense, they are the same.
Right. Yeah, and there's a recent video, like actually just came out yesterday, from a narco pack talking about what communism is, and like communism, as it was meant to be, is just anarchism.
I told you before. I already feel that. I'm like, that's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. So like all this other stuff that people all these assumptions that people have without the historical or theoretical knowledge about it, like they just insert whatever propaganda they've decided to believe, I think.
True. Just like speaking of which, another person said to me, because I had posted I'm doing anarchist outreach, and he said, "Oh, an anarchist, you might as well be far right." And I'm like,
nope.
I am literally the opposite of far right. I'm far left. What are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. What the shit?
Just another person who doesn't know
what anarchism is about. Man.
That's right.
Wild.
Yeah.
Like,
just another person.
No oppression, no hierarchy. I want people to all have their needs met. This allowing fucking just rich people to get by, everyone else is starving, is fucking bullcrap. Everyone else one step away from being homeless, like I'm gonna be. What the fuck? Right. How is that a good society?
No.
No.
Nope. Not good at all.
So what do you think about learning about this type of deity or whatever?
Well, I think it's very interesting. Obviously, like you say, like it's not something I believe in, but if, gun to my head, somebody said pick a god, it's going to be one of these goddesses of social justice or what have you. Like,
right?
It's going to be like a Tutelary deity that cares for people, like far before a high god, for sure.
Right, exactly. Who want you to care about them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And so I think it's good because I think that I've, if people watch all these videos, I've helped really break down religion and show its connections.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know why people still want to believe. Someone told me, "Oh, you're wrong. There's all kinds of evidence of God." I'm like,
no, there literally isn't.
I know you have not watched all my videos because there literally is not any reason to believe in fucking gods. I think I make it clear as fucking possible that all this magical horse shit, is just not. It's culture.
That's right. And I mean, if somebody wants to come to me and say, like, I don't need evidence, I believe on faith, I'm going to disagree with them, but there's nothing I can do about that, right? Like that's
Oh,
you
yeah.
just
Well,
chose to believe on that, and
oh yes, as an anarchist, I definitely do not believe that you should be able to force people to not believe
right,
that they want to believe. I don't think that means you have a right to force your kids. How is
right,
it I can't force you, or society can't force you, but you get to force them to
Yeah.
believe this?
yeah,
No. My mom literally forced Christianity on me.
right, and so many parents do. Like that's
No fucking choice. I'm like, I don't want to go to church. I don't care what you want. You're gonna go in there. Like fucking what?
that was the mistake my parents made when I was quite young, is they gave me the option. They couldn't force me because like after they gave me the choice and I just chose not to go, like it was pretty hard for me to be convinced after that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad but don't you feel more convinced now after all the stuff that I've talked about with you?
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty solid. I think that like this is a cultural byproduct that came
Right?
out of it evolved through the way that human minds traveled around the world, and like it's pretty clear.
Right. I think that if anything, but that's also what my book is about. It's
Right.
about exposing the evolution of religion and removing the rationale of faith.
Yeah.
Because I believe when you understand all this, I don't know how fuck you have faith.
No, that's right. Yeah. Once you know that like your God was an evolved idea from a previous God, which was an evolved idea from a previous God, and so on and so forth down the line.
It eventually goes back to a dog spirit.
Right. Like it's pretty hard to believe that as like a literal deity in the sky all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And that they looked at stars and thought they were magic and stuff.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
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 So like I said too, I feel like we've done on all our videos. Also, I really like that we've, for me personally, that we've mixed anarchism and socialism stuff into the videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that to me personally, I'm happy I did that, and I'm gonna do that in my book too. Before my wife said to leave all that shit out, but then now I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna put it in there. That's what I'm gonna do too. When I stop doing the videos, because of my wife, then I'm gonna probably just be focusing on trying to get it all done, especially because now I understand.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can explain. That's also what I've been trying to do. Is I got to a certain point in the book, and then I realized I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. So then I tried to figure it out, and I thought I figured it out, but then things weren't, like I said, everything was not mixing. So I was still going not comfortable. That's why I was saying I'm still researching it. All of my blogs, I say that I'm still researching. I don't understand. I think I know, but still researching the gods because I wasn't sure. Right. Because I didn't understand. It wasn't making sense to me. It wasn't fitting the evidence. My thinking was somehow like not linking together.
Yeah.
So that I knew something's wrong. So they just recently, a couple months ago, but for me recently, I've realized, oh shit, wrong, and how to make it right. And then once I did, then I started saying, well, now everything's fitting, linking together, super good. Right. I'm like, oh well, then that now I know I'm right because everything is fitting too good. Before it was like it was not. I couldn't make square go to round hole. It was not. I'm like, okay, so there's something in between.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's also why, in general, my ideas are so amazing about prehistory, because I don't just like flippant people just do some guessing and then arrogant about myself. I mean, I'm arrogant, but not about my ideas. I try to make my ideas open to challenge, including me. Like I told you before, I think it's crazy when people wait for others to challenge their ideas.
Right.
Why do you need someone else to challenge you? If you are a rational thinker or someone says they're a skeptic, why aren't you challenging your ideas? What the hell does anyone else have to do it?
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's one of those things too. Like when you're having a discussion with somebody and like they say that they don't agree with you on something, like I don't know, to me, that's always a signal. Like even if I think that I know enough to prove them wrong, that's a signal to me that I need to go look and double check what's going on.
I totally agree. And that's why I tell you, to me, that truth is best championed in the sunlight of challenge. So when someone challenges me, I don't feel I need to feel threatened.
Right.
Because the thing is, either I'll teach him or her or whoever, them, and or they'll teach me. So it's, how is it going to be a bad thing?
Yeah.
So
either you end up correct or you were correct to begin with.
Right, exactly. But I already knew that I wasn't totally correct on God's. Because I said because I had like pieces that looked like here and then looked like here, but there's no way that they went together. So I didn't understand what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
How did I'm like, I don't know what's happening. So I always said that before, but what I had thought maybe was happening, the two things were actually not what was that related to what was happening.
Right.
That was a misunderstanding. So once they put it in better context, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. A lot of moving around too.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize that also Chattelhoic ideas of the paganism went out more than one time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I kind of, once again, wrongly thought went out and then everybody kind of evolved from there because it seems like they're all kind of like related like that. But now I realize, oh no, they went out, boom, because like the club goes. So first thing that goes out is from Neville Corey through Iran towards Central Europe. Not Europe, I mean Asia.
Okay.
Goes to Central Asia with like farming and cattle or like animal husbandry.
Right.
So it goes out really early, 9,000. Then from Turkey, from Chattelhoic, which is towards the Balkans, so the other side, it goes out 8,000, and those ideas don't get to China until 5,000. So it's like, but then also before those ideas went over, then 7,000 Chattelhoic through the Balkans again into Ukraine sends ideas of metallurgy and more of a superior god. Those ideas, 5,000, will go to China. So by the time China got it, it's already a superior god.
Right.
High god, you know what I'm saying? It's the king of the gods already there. But that was the 7. I now realize that was the 7,000 relating to a different thing, which I thought 7,000 like the rise of the male god. But now I know, no, it wasn't exactly the rise of the male god. There's already male gods. It was the rise of the supreme male god.
Right.
In a sense, so I'm saying I realized the evidence, like interpreting it better. Oh, okay. Because I was confused exactly how did that happen? Like I said to you, also, it was me being willing to look at Africa.
Right.
Because when I went into Africa and I realized, holy shit, their like entire country has tons of freaking supreme deities. How in the fuck did that happen?
Right. Where did that come from?
Wait a minute. I thought they started in the Balkans. How did they get all over Africa? Wait a minute. That's what I realized that I had my thinking before of when the gods, because I thought before about 11,000 or so female gods and about 7,000 to 8,000 that male gods start, or at least come into prominence.
Right.
But now I know that wasn't right. They were in prominence fucking 12,000 years ago. But also so was the woman in a sense. But also it could be abstract, like the woman could be a tree in a sense. So in the art, you do like a goat and a tree and then, a man. Yeah, well, that actually is a woman also in that picture in their concept. Anyways, so just learning to pay more attention, though, that how important the animals as opposed to agriculture.
Yeah.
So, but just like this deity, right, is a deity of a person, place, thing, or whatever. There's deities of like grain or crops or so all that's a similar type of a thing. So
right.
I just picked justice because I thought it was a cool.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. That's the best one, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's one that I can go, not religious, but I could support that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So anyways, go ahead and tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing interviews. I've got a script for a video essay where I review the book The Operating System, which is an anarchist theory of the modern state. I've got I'm doing a little bit more streaming lately. Trying to get a little bit more of an audience on Twitch. So that's twitch.tv/skeptical-leftist if anybody's interested. Because it's a lot more casual. It's a little bit more anarchic, I guess, because you can play music or you can play podcasts and you don't get a copyright strike just randomly because where YouTube is pretty strict about some of that stuff. But and Spotify too can be pretty strict about some of that stuff. Yeah. So, and I've been trying to record longer stretches before recording my interviews and stuff so that I'm giving some value to my patrons, which is again, patreon.com/skeptical-leftist. Yeah, so I've got the Skeptical Leftist podcast and YouTube channel and on Twitch, and yeah, check me out. Let me know if you like what I'm doing. I've got all kinds of cool shit going on.
Right on. Well, everyone, take care.
Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Damien Marie AtHope. In the simplest terms, I am an atheist-humanist philosopher and prehistorical writer-researcher at DamienMarieAtHope.com. I am specifically an axiological atheist. An axiological atheism can be thought to involve ethical and value theory reasoned and moral argument driven apatheism, agnosticism, atheism, anti-theism, anti-religionism, secularism, and humanism. Axiological atheists can be understood as a value theory or a value science atheist. As an axiological atheism's ethically reasoned and constructive pro-humanity. I am an axiological thinker, value theorist. The science of goodness, worthiness, usefulness, valuableness, virtue, reliableness, accuracy, validity, morality, integrity, beneficialness, etc., etc. We axiologists have a value consciousness. And in general, we see the architecture of humanistic humanitarianism value in people that we see as dignity beings. Places and things are not. Axiology is a value theory. In its broadest sense, it involves areas of philosophy that are deemed to encompass some evaluative or evaluation aspect. Therefore, it crosses almost all domains in some way or another. Now for a more detailed terms as to what I am. I am an axiological atheist, an anti-theist, an anti-religionist, secularist, humanist, rationalist, writer, artist, poet, philosopher, advocate, activist with schooling in psychology, sociology, as well as I am an autodidact, self-taught in science, archaeology, anthropology, and philosophy. I promote science and am against pseudoscience, pseudo-history, pseudo-morality, things that are found in religion.